Hello, it's William. I'd like to outdoors, and I'd like to thank you for joining me for this episode of Burn Friday Burns. And I hope that someone will be able to make a little sense out of what I think I've got to say this time. There's so much going on right now in the news. Uh, I don't know if everybody pays much attention to things that's being said, the people that are acting up, and the way just the sin that has overcome the world. Might as well just put it that way, because evil is just running rampant today. So I think before I get tied up in something right now, I think I'm going to go ahead and get up and go get the burn started and get that underway and get right back at this. And I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking about something that's just been bothering me. How about that? I'll be right back. All right. Let's see if we can get a fire going here. We done got close. We got wood. Someone gave me a tin, so I'm going to try making some char cloth so I can try a different method of making fire. All right. Well, as you can see, it's a rather windy day today, but I think we can still do something. I believe that I'm going to just start out by reading a little short passage out of the book of Ecclesiastes from chapter 5. I'm going to begin with verse number 8 and go through verse 9. Don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried throughout the land. Yeah, for every official is under orders from higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. Even the king milks the land for his own profit. Justice is being miscarried throughout the land. My goodness. What could be more true today? I mean, There is so much going on, and I'm not talking just about the laws of man. I'm talking about the laws of God that's being overridden by man, especially people in the church. I'm not going to call any names and I'm not going to call any denominations, but there is one denomination that has become two, one with the rainbow symbol and the other one with the cross. They split down the middle because some of them are pro transgender and some of them are believing that God is God and his law should stand. You know, like I said, I just hope I can make a little sense out of this. There's just so much confusion being caused by people who are confused. And they're trying to bring that on down and they're trying to confuse kindergarten children and younger even. The devil is out to destroy mankind. And mankind is giving him a big hand at it. He's got a lot of help now, all the way up through the government even. Parents, grandparents, if you are allowing the school board in your district to change your children without your approval, it's time for you to start doing some homeschooling. Like I said, I'm going to try not to call any names, but it just, what did that say? I mean, it come out of the scriptures. I ain't the one that come up with this stuff. It says every official is under orders from higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. Why? Why does justice get tied up in red tape? Because somebody wants to try to confuse everybody else. I believe they know what they're doing. I sure do. I used to be a drug addict. And I know when I would get high, I knew what I was doing. I don't care how high I got, I knew that I was doing something wrong. I don't care what kind of sin you're into, you know it's wrong. It, it's just that God has put in every man to know when he's doing wrong. You know sin is sin. And these people that are corrupting the young today, they know they're doing it. They love to sin and they want company. It doesn't matter how young they are. And they're killing them. Yeah. Some are blaming the drug problems on the cartels south of the border. I believe it's a little further uphill than that, like on Capitol Hill. That crossing the border can be stopped. It doesn't matter to me what political persuasion you are. You ought not to want our country overrun by illegals. Let people come in, let them come in, but they need to do it through legal process. I mean, this country was founded by aliens. Anyway, I'm, you know, uh, there was something in history books about the Trojan horse. That's not the way it is now. Those folks drug that horse up inside the fort because they didn't know that it was a trap. They didn't know that the enemy was hid inside it. Well, it's not that way now. We know the enemy is here. He's not hid from nobody. Lord help us. It's time for me to get off my soapbox. I hope I didn't drag anybody down, but I've spent a couple of hours watching news for the past couple of weeks to see some of this stuff that's going on, and some of the stuff that is being hid from the headlines to keep you from knowing the truth is, uh, uh, they try to make it seem like uh, this this last school shooting. The mainstream media, the ones over there on the left, they tried to make it look like it's the rest of our fault that that girl did that stuff, and they're trying to make it seem like it was a one of the worst school uh, tragedies, and they keep something hid from the headlines that happened 76 years ago that was the worst. And the perpetrator didn't even use a gun to kill 44 people when he blew up a school. You don't hear about that, though, it being the worst one. One of these days, those who have willingly misled people is going to answer to God for what they have done. And do you think it's going to be a little too late to ask for forgiveness then? I believe it is, because they're already standing in front of the judge. They've had time. Last week, or not last week, week before last, on Burn Friday, I said, I read a passage of scripture that made a whole lot of sense. We need to forgive in order to be forgiven. We can't hold grudges against all these people that are doing wrong now. That's why I said, Lord, help us, because we need it. We need God to step in and bring correction to not just our government, but to the minds of the people that are being misled. So, I tell you what, Reba didn't want to come out of the house, not just because of the wind. It's fairly cool out here today, too. I just imagine in a few weeks I'm going to be wishing that it was a little cool, because it's going to be warm after this. I just know it. That's just the way it is here where we live at. If you don't like the weather, stick around for 4 or 5 hours. It will change. Uh, Yesterday, that's what it was. It was pretty nice yesterday. It might have been pouring down rain, but it was a pretty nice temperature. We got up this morning, it still looked like it was going to rain, but it was about 30 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. But anyway, I hope and I pray that God bless you with a good weekend, even in the troubled times that we are in presently.